welcome two very special people to the virtual stage today and tell you a little bit about concierge services, which I think it's like all the rage right now. It's pretty important. So please welcome Michael and Lin-Lin. Michael is the CEO and founder of Revive. Michael, say hello to everyone.
Hello. Thanks for having me, Katie.
Yeah, absolutely. And Lin-Lin is an expert with listings, with all the things, with selling. She does what we do for a living. She is a wonderful real estate agent. Lin-Lin, introduce yourself to everyone.
Hello, everyone. I am Lin-Lin Tsou-Otani, and I am the Senior Listing Specialist with the Brett Jennings Group, and we are part of Side Brokerage and working with Revive.
Very, very cool. So Michael and Inman, we all wanted Lin-Lin to join this conversation because she has a lot of experience working with concierge products at her brokerage. So I believe she'll bring a nice story to tell to the conversation. So first of all, if you have been living under a rock and you haven't heard about concierge, we're going to bring it to you right now. So Michael, I feel like you're the foremost authority. You have literally started a company called Revive that focuses on concierge. So can you give the audience a description of what it is?
Sure. Let me first take a step back and say what an exciting time it is to be a realtor today. I think that realtors today have the opportunity to play the biggest role that they have ever been able to, because there's so many solutions out there and so many solutions aimed at adding real value to consumers. And concierge, as you mentioned, is kind of the latest kind of value add service that's being used. And, concierge is not a new concept. It's a concept that's kind of been around forever. It's the idea that a realtor wants to give their client a full service type of experience that helps them with convenience and selling their home for top dollar, right? So realtors have been doing this by, helping with fronting maybe some money for staging, or maybe playing coordinator or designer or whatever. Today, concierge is taking on a new meaning. It is now being rolled out by brokerages and companies trying to make it available to realtors in mass to be able to deliver that service at a higher level. So in an essence, that's what concierge is.
It's funny because a lot of people, I think they get confused or they're overwhelmed. They don't even want to even try to, do any concierge type anything. They don't really get it because we have a lot of other things on our plate, I'll be honest. But before this whole idea kind of rolled out years ago, I feel like you said, so many agents were coming out of pocket. Like if a client maybe didn't have the funds or they were trying to do a value add, how can you get some leverage over the competition? They would front that cash themselves. So basically now we've got several different options as far as concierge goes, like Revive, to do that for us. So the agent isn't, out on their own. So Lin-Lin, I want to jump to you because again, you are the expert. I know you have used products like this a lot. You're with Revive now using theirs as well. So explain to me how this has benefited, honestly, not only you, and I love this about Revive and Michael, your whole team. It's about how can you help, yes, the agent, the leadership at a brokerage, but the actual homeowner. How can you help them get the most equity out of their house and cash out? So Lin-Lin, how has it changed your business?
Well, definitely like what Michael was saying, this concierge concept has been around for a while. And when I started with a high-end brokerage, they actually had hired people to provide this type of concierge service, but that comes with a tremendous amount of overhead, which most new agents coming into the business does not have that type of cash to put into it. And so with Revive, you don't have to have that overhead and you can still get the same results as these people who put a lot of money into such a team. So for the homeowners, I always tell them that your home is probably going to be your largest nest egg for when you retire. They're looking at us as helping with that process to get the most out. And in order to do that, we lived in a time-starved area where people would pay a premium for a turnkey home. And so if you are investing their improvements, you're putting $1 in, it's most likely you're going to get $2 to $3 out at the back end. So rather than looking at how much you're spending, whether it's on improvements or even on agent commissions, look at how much you're netting. So I actually generate a net sheet so they can see, okay, if we spent this much, you net this much. If you spent this much, and almost always they go for the premium plan because they know that they can net more at the end. Now, of course, not all sellers are. Some people are skeptical, they don't believe it, but we have a track record to prove it. And we have references that they can call if they want to talk to somebody who's been through the program. But it really, really helps put their mind at ease to know that Michael has been doing flips forever, and I have been selling homes for a while. And along with our track record, we know what we're doing because we do this day in and day out versus them. They're the end users. They have no idea who to ask, what to do, what designs to pick, So we take that whole entire process out of their hands and into ours. And that makes us a huge value.
That's an interesting point too, because I've seen some other concierge type products, and it can get a bit confusing or overwhelming because you pitch it, to the client at the initial meeting. Maybe they get very excited. Maybe they sign the listing agreement and you have a glass of wine because success, right? But then you go home and you go, oh my God, like, what am I going to do now? Because I don't know anybody. I don't know what's cool right now. I don't know what's trendy. Tell me how Revive changes that. Michael, do you want to hit this? Do you want to tell me a little bit about the process and how it differs?
Well, I mean, there, like I said, you hear a lot about concierge. So there's a lot of flavors of concierge out there today, right? So, there are companies and brokerages that, kind of what they feel the biggest value of concierge is giving the money or figuring out a way to get the money over to a homeowner. And they kind of go, here's the money, go ahead and prep your home. And in a way, I feel like it's almost doing them a disservice because the reality is, it's like giving a child the keys to the car or the keys to the candy store, right? And saying, go in there and get what you want, right? The reality is homeowners, it's a big job for them too, knowing what budget to put, where to put that money, then getting the bids and finding the contractors and are they really able to leverage as end users, as Lin-Lin said, able to leverage, best pricing and service from a contractor. And then they have to either rely on the contractor to design this for them or their agent to become a designer all of a sudden. And then who's going to manage that vendor and make sure they showed up and make sure that the product that they're going to deliver is what the market wants. So that is the burden that really Revive is lifting off of not just the homeowner, but the realtor. And that's kind of what is the main difference between, I think, our flavor of concierge and kind of, just giving them the money or, other services. So we're literally vested in the outcome of them. It's not just our reputation, but our money is stuck there until they sell their home. So we want it to sell fast. And, I'll let Lynn, again, so that's the answer to that, different flavors.
While we're on the subject though, and I have your attention, Michael, and we didn't chat about this before, but I think it's an important topic. You see a lot of different, new real estate brands and they're pitching new products, but a lot of times they don't have background in the field that they are now in, that they have just built. And I really would love for the audience to get just a real snippet of you, because I think it will build trust and let people understand that, there are some people like you, Michael, that have created a company, but you have extensive history in doing exactly this. So tell me about that.
Sure. You want a little history about me?
Yeah.
Sure. Look, I've spent the last, 12 to 15 years in real estate. I kind of got in 2008, but basically I've been a fund manager of a real estate fund that basically all we did was flips, essentially, right? We bought homes that were not turnkey. We made them turnkey. We made big profits. And, 2 years ago, I stepped away from that because I kind of thought, geez, the key to the success of this company was having these 4 things, right? good real estate people around you to properly evaluate the value of a product, access to service providers that you could leverage, right? The referral power. When you're hiring someone 20 to 50 times a year, it's a lot different than when you're an end user. You leverage that. And of course, the in-house design to make sure that we're putting out a product that the buyers want today. And lastly, having the money to do it. Those are all pain points. So that's how kind of Revive got started. That's my experience. And, as you saw different organizations trying to offer this service, and I have to just admit and be honest, at first, I kind of thought, the money seemed like the thing we talk about first, right? And you see a lot of brokerages, everybody's clamoring to all agents, and they want to offer a concierge service. But I wonder if their motives are in the right place, because yes, concierge is a great recruiting tool for brokerages, and it's a great talking point for agents. But once you get past that, right, how do you really win with concierge? And the way you really win is having real success for your client, right? Because, and again, this topic is about, scaling up your business and while doing the right thing. The reality is, Lin-Lin is kind of like an athlete, right? Like if you're in the NBA, you're tracking stats, right? So, people that are hiring agents, they're looking, how fast are these houses being sold by this agent? Are they market setters, or are they discounting 20% when they sell? And so concierge really is a powerful tool when it's, leveraged the way I think that we're doing it, being able to help set a budget, guide the design, manage the vendors, to ensure that you're getting this product out is kind of the key. So hopefully,
what's really interesting about that too, Michael, and I'm going to throw this to you, Lin-Lin. I'm in Houston, so I'm a broker in the Houston market, and you can tell what houses need concierge very easily. You get on, if they've been on the market more than 10 days, then you open it up and you're like, well, that was a candidate right there. And I bet if I Google Lin-Lin right now and I looked up your inventory and I opened up, I bet you have stellar listings because you have taken control of the situation. Now, when you have people looking at your reviews and what you've sold before they even call you, they see that all of your listings are spot on. And it's because of, I believe, products like Concierge. So tell me a few things. How has this changed your business? Do you talk about it in your listing appointments? Because this is a different market, right? Like it's not poor buyers right now, but right now, as far as sellers go, you're right. It's got to be turnkey. It's got to be beautiful, ready to go, and it'll sell in a day. So tell me how it has changed your listing process and just your business as a whole, Lin-Lin.
So thank you for bringing that up, because when Michael was saying those 4 pain points, I was actually taking notes, and those are on the side of a seller. So let me tell you on the side of an agent how it looks like, okay? So before we met Revive, we were mirroring the process with our own listing manager, our own contractors, our own designers, and all of that. And I still inevitably will be pulled in all kinds of conversations, even up until today, because this one particular family thought they could do it on their own, about exhaust fans and why it's important for them to replace the exhaust fans, or why everything is not matching with the light bulbs. Some are whiter than others, and why it has to be LED, because they were trying to, pinch pennies here and there. And just like, that's a lot of minutia for every single listing. And when you're juggling anywhere from 10 to 14 listings and you're getting 10 emails on each properties on lighting or exhaust fans or, backsplashes or whatever, or paint colors, that's like 100 plus emails. That bandwidth of that is not really spending or making me any more business, right? Because if I'm managing this minutia, I don't have enough of time resources to go out and fill out my pipeline, which every agent needs to do, right? They have to hunt, right? So that is really why we love Revive, is because we want to take ourselves out of the project managing and the minutia of dealing with the clients, so that they deal with all the minutia and everything. So in that regards, it really helps, and then going back, just in terms of the clients, when we are talking about concierge in them in the beginning, it gives us like yet another service because most people do want to do something to their house, especially if you've been living for your house for 10, 20 years, it's really hard to do the flooring, right? When you're living in your home to have to move everything out or to do painting or whatnot, right? Like, just look at all the junk I have behind me. Like, I have to clear all of this out so most people, they do need some kind of freshening up. And so when we offer that, it's a solution. And not only that, I feel like Revive has another solution, like they even help with the cost of an Airbnb, or moving. So you have to move your stuff somewhere, so they help with all of those. So it really is a true solution, especially in this pandemic. I mean, this is a true story, but I actually had some sellers that said, oh, we're fine. We can have contractors in our home. We've done it before. And I'm like, are you sure? Exposure, this and that. They said they were sure. And sure enough, they both got COVID. And, the minute they started letting people in. So it's just such a great idea all around.
I feel like people, if they're not considering concierge or whatever anyone else calls it, you're just doing yourself a great injustice. I believe like the future of what our business is just adding more and more value and trying to be as valuable as we possibly can. And products like this are what get you there. And I've never seen a seller who's like, hey, come on in. It's absolutely ready to go before I ever called you. Isn't it perfect? Like, there's always something. When you live in a house, you don't necessarily see the things that we see as experts. And I've heard a few agents say, well, and honestly, these are typically not, a real quick coaching session is be confident with your clients. You're there to sell the house, not to be friends with them, right? And sometimes you have to walk in and say, you need this, this, and this. And I've heard agents say, I just don't want to offend anyone. I don't want to, offend the seller. It's their home and da, da, da. So tell me, Lin-Lin, how do you get past that when you pitch a product like Revive?
So it is very interesting you say that, because a lot of agents do say that they don't want to offend, and I want to be respectful of them. Revive's so great because we're not the one telling them that, hey, it's going to turn a lot of buyers off. We have this third-party designer to them. So it really kind of removes us out of the picture. But what we do say is we do tell them the importance of doing so. And a lot of people are like, I just want to sell my house as is. I don't want to go through all of that rigmarole. And I said, I understand that. And that is perfectly okay. And then I show them the net sheets, and this is what you're going to be leaving on the table if you do that. And when they see that differential, that they're possibly leaving $50,000 to $100,000 on the table, then they change their minds and say, yes, we definitely need to do or want to do something. Tell us what it takes. And when they find out that all it takes is agreeing to the services, filling out some paperwork, they're just like, okay, great, because they do it and they just have to be open to the idea. And I think that by Michael's experience and also my track record, it kind of gives them some certainty that we're not just arrived yesterday and now going to, take this huge risk for them and, turn their life savings into a mess, that we know what we're doing based on, the successes we've had with doing these type of improvements.
I also want to say and break the conversation up for a moment. Don't forget the chat.
Oh, yes.
If you have any questions at all, go push them over into the chat. That way we have people standing by from Revive to answer any questions that you may have. And also don't get rid of our faces because we're so much fun. Open up another screen and go to iloverevive.com. That is the website. ILOVE revive.com and check it out. And Michael, can you, since we have the CEO here with us, can you explain to me, because the process seems pretty simple on the site, to be honest. You just like throw your address in there and then what happens from there?
Yeah, you just hit get started. It takes you through a couple of questions. And, that automatically, that website is actually an app. So it's like a living, breathing thing. We're very tech centric at Revive. So you go through the funnel and it's pretty self-explanatory. You answer a few questions and you're able to schedule your first, what we call pro to pro, which is just agent to a pre-sale renovation expert to kind of talk about like, okay, what's this deal going on? Let's evaluate. Tell us what you think the values are. What do you think, Lin-Lin? Let's put a plan together. Let's get on the same page before you or we pitch this together to the owner. And so that's as easy as that, really. So I think
that right, what you just said, I don't think you're as excited about as you should be. That is the game changer. The fact that you have somebody you can call who knows what they're talking about. Because I've been in situations too where, and we've discussed this over and over already, but I don't have contractors in my pocket that I can call that I know I've already negotiated best prices with because I don't have the time. Not to mention, like my husband and I were both brokers for a very long time, but I walk into a house and I don't have the vision he has. Like he walks into a house that's, he's like, well, we can do this and this and it'll be amazing, which I think you do too, Michael. I don't. I see what I see and that is all I see. And it would just be so great to be able to connect to an expert like you and your team to talk through those points before I even go pitch it. And I believe that's what you do.
Yeah. And I think to your point, by the way, a lot of sellers kind of make that mistake also. They just kind of think, we'll give a credit. The reality is the perceived value is so much less, right? Because people walk in and they can't imagine it. They can't see past your kids' toys and all your stuff and the dirty carpet that you're like, oh, I'll give you a $5,000 credit. If that was the case, there would be no place for flippers, right? And that's what flippers do. And so to that point and Lin-Lin's point, every home probably needs a little TLC. And you got to really know who the buyer pool is today, right? The buyer pool is millennials and the HGTV generation, right? That want instant gratification. And, today consumers, they value the experience and they're willing to pay for it, right? And that's why you're seeing like the discount brokerages falling off. And that's why you're saying agents that want to add real value to their clients, like Lin-Lin, right, is able to charge more by having solutions like Concierge to be able to offer to them, because people are willing to pay for a first-class service, right, that creates value and convenience. And so that's kind of, it's amazing to be able to bring that not only to help your clients to make more money, but also for an agent to like have first-class listings that sell in record time and have that amazing track record, set market, comps and stuff like that. So,
well, the best part of all of this is, and I've talked to you a few times now, Michael, and you too, Lin-Lin, and you can tell you're really, really passionate about the company that you've created, which also makes, a world of a difference too. Lin-Lin, I want to ask you a question. I want you, this is like a game show. I want you to tell me a real life story of a client that you've worked with and really changed the outcome for them with the Concierge product.
Thank you for asking. So last year, I actually had 3 listings that was listed with prior agents. And one of them, they, sat on the market and didn't get any offers. Another one, they got offers, but it wasn't to the client's expectations. And the other one was similar, that it, and this is the real key point with Concierge. So that, and it was a discount agent. It was actually somebody that their financial advisor said, why are you paying all this commission for an agent? You should just, it's going to sell anyway. You should just get a discount agent. So introduce them to a discount agent. So, we were in contact with them prior to that. And then came back to us after 83 days on the market. They got had 7 showings and had 1 offer well below their list. So we put about $30,000 into the home, and completely just changed it, with our designers and everything. And then within a week, we got it was like 70 showings. It was like 10 times the amount of showings that they got in 83 days. We got in 7 days, and we got 11 offers, and it went $100,000 over the last offer that they got. So that $30,000, that was about a 3x ROI, just based on that. And I always tell my clients, I would rather put out a product that, and delay it maybe a couple of weeks on the front end. It's kind of like you're preparing a rocket to launch. You have a lot of preparation to do, However, once it launches, it's going to be quick. So that's exactly, rather than hurry and throw it on the market and then have it be a flop. So that's kind of like, I would rather spend my time and money on the front end of it rather than kind of wasting time on market. And not only that, it actually becomes a stigmatized property because agents and everybody is going to see the past history record and that it sat on the market for that long. And they're like, well, why didn't it sell, right? And so it kind of puts like a bad stigma on the property. Whereas if you did it from the beginning, then it's, and one client, the one of the three that had it with another agent and then came to us, she said, you got us such a great result. We're super happy. And we just would have wondered how it would have been like if you were our first agent from the beginning and then did this concierge, thing.
You're like, it would have been fantastic.
Katie, can I throw something out there?
Yeah.
Imagine that extra $100,000 that client, Lin-Lin's client, I don't know, I don't know which client this is, but when people are selling their home to downsize or upsize, retire, an extra $100,000 could be life-changing, right? For them. It's not a small amount of money that these, I want to say flippers were making, that now Lin-Lin and programs like Revive Concierge is helping, homeowners extract rather than passing that profits on to someone else.
You took the words out of my mouth, Michael. I was literally planning to say that. So see, we're spot on, but it really is. It's life-changing. I want to ask you, Lin, I don't know if you remember, but you said they put 30,000 into that house. Do you remember like what they changed? I'm assuming like paint, a little
Well, actually the home, okay. So this is the other thing. This is the other thing. When sellers come to us, it's important that they come to us even before they plan any other renovations. So I cannot tell you how many homes you show up and they freshly painted the home in a color that
in beige.
And if it's going to appeal to the buyers, right? Because it appeals to them, but we're not selling the house to them. We're selling it to the buyers. So maybe we should think about what the buyers are looking for. And this was unfortunately one of those homes. And so the paint was in good condition. So we didn't touch the rest of the house, but there was one bedroom that was painted in a lavender color, which was very nice because the homeowner liked lavender, and that's fine that they like lavender, but we wanted to neutralize it. So we ended up doing that room. And then some of the cabinets, basically the kitchen cabinets, right? Everybody wants the light, bright and open in the white kitchen. It was in a very nice wood, but we ended up painting those cabinets too. So that,
so simple, but now they
and then they had like the front door, it was a nice wood, but like a pop of color, and so, and then they have these paver or these cracked, concrete driveways. So we put pavers in. So all of those things really made up for, a big difference in the end because, buyers, they don't have the know-how. Like, who do they call? Do they go on Yelp and find, these people to do things?
Turnkey. That's the key word. Buyers today want that instant gratification, turnkey. And they want to be proud. I mean, they've seen it on HGTV. That's what they want. And I always tell, sellers that have these ideas, I say, people want a blank canvas to make their own. They don't want to buy your Picasso, And I think the key is turnkey, turnkey, turnkey.
I'm thinking right now, because I've got like marketing brain, For the agents who have never used a product like this, you get on Instagram stories after this, after Connect is over today, and you say, hey, like if you're ready to sell, but you've been, worried a little bit, you have some things you need to do, call me. I have something I can, talk to you about, and it'll really help you get the most money out of your house when you're ready to sell. You don't want to miss out on even a penny. And then they call you and you send them to Revive. Yeah. Michael, do you have anything else to add before we go?
I guess the only thing I'd like to leave, agents with today is, we're working with agents all over the United States, right? And we've got, we work with the whole brokerages, and we are seeing that, some organizations and some agents get it, and they're repeat customers. Like Lin-Lin, she runs a first class, just operation, right? And she gets it. So she's using it multiple times, yet we see other people not using it. So I think that there's so many solutions out there. To be successful, you really want to make sure, first of all, your market, your stuff, but then the solutions that you want to, the situational solutions out there to bring to clients, like maybe Concierge, and just, know it inside out and how it could really be valuable, and then put your client first, and the rest will take care of itself. It's just another tool. It's another option that could help you put your foot in the door, add more value, and truly create success and value that's going to help your client and add to your stats. And then everything just falls into place. So if you want to know more about Revive Concierge, you know what to do.
Yeah, I love revive.com. And also, again, if you are a team leader or an individual agent or a broker or a leadership at a brokerage, I feel like sometimes when a product like this is given from the top down, so they can explain it like internally, that's good too. So if you were one of those, reach out to Revive as well if you'd like to. Lin-Lin, thank you. You are amazing. Your listings are stellar. I have looked. Michael, you're great.
You.
I hope everybody had a fantastic time and learned a lot. And I can't wait to go send a client or two to Revive. Thank you both. We'll see you soon.
Katie. Thank you,
Thank you, Katie, for having us. It was enjoyable. And good luck to everyone. Yeah, it's really a no-brainer. Like, if you don't go with Revive, you're losing out. So
thank you, Lin-Lin. Thanks both.
You're welcome. Okay.